It just proves that the right to access is fundamental for people to be able to live a healthy, happy life. It's not just a nice to have, we need access to nature, and we've now seen that we have the right to wild camp on Dartmoor, and the stars are for everyone. Well, Dartmoor is the only place in England where wild camping is allowed. We believe that that right should be extended to all national parks in England, so going forward I'd really like to see legislation to extend the right to wild camp. It's something Labour promised in opposition, so we'd like to see them do that now, so I'll be working cross-party to make that happen. I think if it had gone the other way, it would have had a serious effect on things like the 10 tours experience, which lots of school children, teenagers do from across the country. It's a really formative experience, learning experience for kids. And if it had gone the other way, then that would have been in serious jeopardy. Going out on Dartmoor with a backpack, with a tent and sleeping under the stars is a really incredible experience. It doesn't cost any money, and it's all about education. It's about teaching people to respect the moor, to respect nature, and we need to see more of that. So we really believe in the power of nature for mental health, for physical health. Access to nature should be everybody's right. And only 8% we only have access to 8% of the land in the UK. It's the lowest in Europe. So we really need to work harder to make sure that more people have access to natural surroundings like Dartmoor.
Well, I'm delighted, I'm elated, relieved that the Supreme Court has ruled unanimously that there is a right to wild camp on Dartmoor. It's kind of outrageous that one wealthy landowner, Alexander Darwell, was able to even bring this case in the first place to try and take away the rights of everyone to responsibly and peacefully wild camp on the moor. And what I think this case has also really highlighted is how unusual and odd it is that Dartmoor is the only place where there is a legal right to wild camp. In England and Wales. Over in Scotland, over the border, there is a right to wild camp almost everywhere. And so that's why we are now really keen for the government to take note of this, the huge amount of public interest this case has stirred up, to see the public support for right to wild camp and to extend the law. We want them to change the law now so that actually people in England can enjoy the right to wild camp and the right to roam over much more of our beautiful countryside. I think that the Darwell's case was based on this fallacy that wild camping is damaging to the environment. It isn't. If you're wild camping, the spirit of it, and not just the spirit of wild camping, but also the bylaws that have governed wild camping on Dartmoor for the last 30 years, very, very clearly stipulate that you cannot leave a trace, that you cannot be disturbing wildlife or doing any of the things that the Darwells are alleging is happening. Nobody condones fly camping or people leaving litter, but there have already been rules in place to do that, and thousands of people wild camp every year on Dartmoor without anybody knowing that they're there, without leaving a trace, and often picking up litter afterwards. And the trace that is left is the trace on people's hearts and minds and souls when they undertake this wonderful experience of sleeping under the stars on Dartmoor and seeing the wild.